ॐ वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां भिषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। साक्षात्कृतं दयानन्दं परमार्थस्वरूपिणं तत्त्वज्ञानप्रशास्तारं प्रणतोऽस्मि परं पदम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तमा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। नत्वा श्रीभारती तीर्थ
नत्वा श्रीभारती तीर्थ
विद्यारण्यमुनीश्वरौ
विद्यारण्यमुनीश्वरौ
अधीमहे पञ्चदशी कैवल्यपदसिद्धये।
कैवल्यपदसिद्धये।
पंचमहाभूत विवेक प्रकरणम श्लोका नंबर 29. chant from 29. अस्पर्शयोगो नामैषः दुर्दर्शः सर्वयोगिभिः योगिनो बिभ्यतिः अस्मात् यस्मात् अभये भयदर्शिनः भगवत्पूज्यपादाश्च शुष्कतर्कपटु नमो
शुष्कतर्कपटो नमो नमो
माध्यमिकान् भ्रान्तान्
आहुर्माध्यमिकान्
अचिन्त्येऽस्मिन् सदात्मनि
चिन्त्येऽस्मिन् सदात्मनि
अनादृत्य श्रुतिं मूर्ख्यात्
नादृत्यश्रुतिमूर्ध्यात्
इमे बौधास्तमस्विनः
इमे बौधास्तमस्विनः
आपेदिरे निरात्मत्वम्
आपेदिरे निरात्मत्वम्
अनुमानैकचक्षुषः
अनुमानैकचक्षुषः
These Baudaha, Shunyavadinaha, Madhyamikaha, Bayam Uchire. Atyantam Bayam Uchire, Vidyarnamani says, and Gaudapada also in his Karika, he says, this Asparsha Yogaha, this Vedanta Jnani. In this Advaita Vedanta Jnanam, Drihata Advaita Vedanta Jnanam, Yoginaha Bibyati, Abhaye Bayadarshinaha, Abhaye Bayadarshinaha. That which is not, that which is not, is not, that which cannot, that which is, cannot cause fear. That which is absence of fear, abhaye. There is no fear in that. That which is free from fear, cannot cause fear, abhaya. In that abhaye, bhayadarshinaha. Therefore bhayam uchire. Not only Gaudapada, even Shankaracharya also, Bhagavad Padaha cha. These he calls this Madhyamikas or Bhrantaha. They are Bhrantaha, they are deluded, they are confused, and they are skilled in what? Shushkatarka. Shushkatarka Patun. Shushkatarka. Shrutim Ashritya. Shrutim Ashritya Yaha Tarkaha Saha Tarkaha Shruti Sammata Tarkaha. Whereas Tarkam Ashritya Shrutim Anadritya. Shrutim Anadritya Eva Shruti Virodhim Shruti Viruddham Ye Katayanti Tesham Tarkaha Shushka Tarkaha Saha Tarkaha Shushka Tarka Tesham Tarka Shushka Tarkaha Shruti Virodham Katayanti is Madhyamika. Their Tarka, their logic, it is opposite to, it is contradicting. Shrutim Anashutya, Shruti Virodham Katayanti. Therefore, when the Tarka, when the logic, we are not against the logic. In fact, the Brahma Sutra, it's a Nyaya Grantha, Nyaya Sutra, where the logic is applied to establish Tatparyam of the Shastra, not to prove Brahma. It is not to prove. It is a supporting logic. It says it's supporting logic, not just by logic. Logic is used as a support to establish what the Shruti reveals, not just by logic. If we are against logic, then we would not be studying Brahma Sutra. And in our arguments, you will find we give drishtantas. Drishtanta, a logical drishtanta. We use logic also. So in Gita Bhashyam and all, where we find the commentary, a long commentary, and that the Purva Pakshis are brought in, Nayayikas, even Purva Paksh, Nayayikas, this Karmatas, Purva Mimamsakas, and the Vritti Mata. So all of them, with all of them we discuss. They also present their contention based on Shruti. They also present their contention logically based on Shruti. So Shruti is a common platform. So when their argument is, the logical argument is based on Shruti, our logical argument is based on Shruti. Because this Jivaikam, Jiva Brahma Aikyam, it is the subject matter of the Shruti. So not taking resort to Shruti, then how can you talk about Jagat Karanam Brahma? How can you talk about the Advaitam Brahma, Jiva Brahma Aikyam? You cannot talk at all. There's no way of establishing, there's no way of conveying Jiva Brahma Aikyam without Shruti. Because Shruti eva Pramanam. Without Shruti, how do you know that? How do you know the means, the methods or the means to go to Swargaloka? Or the means to get the progeny or rain, or anything. No, by performing the ritual, not by any scientific method. By performing yajna, specific yajna. Without Shruti not there, then how do we know? In those days, when there was scarcity of rain, or when a couple did not have the son or the daughter to continue the lineage, and scientific developments not being there, to what they would have resorted? Shruti, Veda Purva. Veda Purva suggests karma which when performed as stipulated by the Shastra, then the karma pala, that karma pala which corresponds to the karma which is done without any vikalpa, as it is ordained by the Shruti, then the karma pala must come. So without Shruti, if you don't have Shraddha in Shruti, then how can one do karma? How can one do karma and enjoy karma pala? How Swargaloka, going to Swargaloka? How going to Swargaloka by, as I said, by the karma, it can be believed. There's no way. So entire Veda being a Pramana, Veda Purva as well as Vedanta, as Veda Purva is a means for knowing the rituals, for knowing the ritual as well as performing. Know-how of the rituals. And it is a means for certain ends. So without Veda, that knowledge is not possible. Science doesn't have any access to it. So Veda itself as a Pramanam, being a Pramanam, separate Pramanam, that's why it's a Pramanam. There is no collaboration, there is no joint venture with the science. Science stops, there Shastra starts. Science operates only on the The Mula Pramanam, Pratyaksha Pramanam, and Anumana. Mula Pramanam and the Pramanam based on this Pratyaksha. Pratyaksha means this Pancha Jnanendriya. They are the Pramanam, they are the means for knowing the sense object, Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. And based on that, the inference, the logical conclusion, inference, Arthapatti, the presumption, all the other Pramanams are based. Science can operate only on these five. It doesn't have access to the Apurusheya Pram because it is Apurusheya. Science is not Apurusheya. It is Purusheya. It is Purushagata. It is in the Purusha, the person. The person, he has a freedom to operate. But what freedom he has to operate the Shastra Pramana? Unless someone reveals a Shastra. So therefore, when we try to present what the Shastram says, logically, we have to take the support of the Shastra. Independent of the Shastram, the Tarka will be presented. That is illogical. That is what we call, it is Shushka Tarka, dry logic. A logic becomes dry only when it is independent of Shastra, without resorting to Shastra. So therefore, Shruti Virodha, and also not only independent, it is Shruti Virodha, contradictory to Shruti. So Tarka Mashritya, Kevala Tarka Mashritya, Shruti Virodham, Shruti Virodha Tarkaha. Kevala Tarka Mashritya, Shruti Virodha Tarkaha, Shushka Tarkaha, Ye Katayanti Te Shushka, Tesham Tarkaha, Shushka Tarkaha. So those Tushka Tarka, Patun, Ke, this Madhyamikan, Buddha, Achintye, the Brahma which is not available for objectification. It is not an object, Achintye, Achintya Vishaya. Achintya Vishaya means it is not available for the other Pramana. It is Shastra Vishaya, Achintya Brahmani. Achintye Sadatmani Bhrantaha. They are Bhrantaha with regard to the Brahma which is Achintya. So Kevalam Tarkam Avalambya. Ye Bhrantaha, ye Madhyamikaha Santi ite Bhrantaha. Bhrantaha iti Bhashikara. He calls the Bauddhas. They are Bhrantaha. They are Shushka Patavaha. Kevalam Buddhi Shakti Meva Avalambya. Tarkena Swasiddhantam Stapayanti. Therefore, te Tarkikaha, te Bhrantaha, Madhyamikaha Bhrantaha. Shrutim Anadritya, Maurkyat, Murkasya Bhavaha, Maurkyat, Ime Bauddhaha Tamasvinaha. They are Tamasvinaha, endowed with Tamas. Applying logic, in fact, applying logic is intelligence. But here it is not, because it is Shruti Virodha Tarka. Therefore, Maurkyat, because of Murkatvam, foolishness, not understanding the Shastra, Shastra Manadritya. And they are Anumanaika Chakshaha. They have got only one eye, not operating the two eyes. With one eye only, if you see, you will not get the clarity of the object you perceive. You should operate both the eyes. Both the eyes are compared to Paurushaya Pramanam and Apurusheya Pramanam. Pramanam which is available with you and the Pramanam which is outside of you. That is why Bhagavan has given two eyes. With only one eye I will see. Then not wanting to use the other eye out of laziness. Therefore, Tamasvinaha Bauddhaha. Therefore, they Niratmatvam apedire. Niratmatvam. Niratmatvam atma abhavaha. Atma abhavaha. Therefore, they are ajnaninaha. Shrutyartha ajnanasya abhavat. Shrutyartha jnanasya abhavat. Therefore, Bauddhaha ajnaninaha. How do we know they are ajnaninaha? Because tamasvinaha. What is the karanam for ajnanam? Tamas. Therefore, tamogunaha, tamasvinaha, when we say here, ajnaninaha, ajnanasya karanam tamogunaha ataha. Therefore, tamogunena yuktaha buddhaha tamasvinaha shrutim anadritya niratvatvam anumanika chakshushaha ye te niratvatvam apedire. Niratvatvam padam, there is no atma, asad eva asit, atu sat apedire. So therefore, niratvatvam is shunyam ityartha, asat. Niratvatvam, shunyam, shunyam apedire. See, we have seen. They conclude, it is niratmatvam. Niratmatvam praptavantaha apedire. How they come to conclusion, niratmatvam, no atma. See, if atma is not existent, then why should you talk about the non-existent atma? And how they prove? With anumana. Anumana is the Shruti Virodham. Anumana is Shruti Virodham means that Anumana which is independent of Shruti. That Anumana is Shruti Virodham. Shruti Virode Anumanam Apramanam Bhavati. Therefore, only they are Anumanaika Chakshushaha. Only Anumanam alone they take. That is a Pramanam, not Shruti. Therefore, Anumanika Chakshushaha and Shruti Virodha Anumanam Apramanam Bhavati. With Apramanam, you conclude there is no Atma. Therefore, Shrutim Upekshya Anumanena Swasiddhantam Katayanti. Ye Madhyamikaha te Bhrantaha Tamasvinaha iti. Iti we have seen. Now, the support of the Acharyas and the Parampara were taken by the Vidyaranya Muni. It is not only Vidyaranya Muni says. First he said, then he quoted from the Gaudapada, then he quoted from Shankaracharya. What else is required? We have the support of the Acharyas, the great Acharyas in the Parampara, the greatest Acharya, Gaudapada, the Grand Guru, and Shankaracharya. So, therefore, their words itself they become, because they are the main link in the Sampradaya. They indicate the Sampradaya. Sampradaya means we talk about Vyasacharya, important link, Gaudapada, Gaudita Bhagavad-pada, Gaudapada, and Shankar Bhagavad-pada. Their Vakyams becomes the Pramanam. Their understanding of Shastra and their presentation, their commentaries to the Shastra, that itself becomes a Pramanam. Therefore, when they themselves say, then what about these Bodhaha? They are independent thinkers. With regard to what Shastram says, in fact, one should not think independently. The modern education encourages independent thinking. That is good. But with regard to what Shastram says, one should not think independently. No independent thinking is allowed. Independent thinking should be only within the purview of the Shastra, not outside the Shastra. Because Shastram is a Pramana. Then how can you think independently? If you independently think, then you will dismiss the Shastra. You will dismiss the Shastram. Who will believe the Shastram as a Pramanam? How Shastram came into existence? Who revealed the Shastram? Who was the first teacher? How Bhagavan could have revealed only to the rishis? How we can assume, how can we believe that rishis were the recipients? All these questions will come, we cannot answer them. That is why Shraddha. Shraddhavan Purusha Veda. Acharyavan Purusha Veda. Shraddhavan Labhate Jnana. So that's why we say Shraddha. Shraddha is important. So therefore, independent thinking only within the purview of the Shastra. Completely independent thinking will not lead anyone anywhere. So therefore, Shruti Sammata Tarka. Tarka based on Shruti. That is why this Nyaya philosophy and all we dismiss. We don't, in fact, Swamiji suggests not to study. Because the logic is, sometimes the logic is too much. It's too much, it is unnecessary, it will create disturbance. If you have Shraddha in Shastram and pursue Shastram, that is enough. We have Shraddha in the words of the Acharyas in the tradition, that is enough. And Shankaracharya says Shruti has a compassion of 1,000 mothers. And Shruti is so much compassionate. And the words of the Acharya and the works of the Acharya, because from that we can infer how compassionate they are. Therefore, we don't need to resort to the independent thinking. The independent thinking, in fact, we are misled. Thinking should be in keeping with the Shastram. Shastram himself encourages thinking. Shastram is not against thinking. That's another thing to be noted. Shastram doesn't say that one should not think. If you don't think, if you don't use your buddhi, then how will you understand Shastra? The buddhi should be used appropriately. The training the buddhi, training the mind to think in keeping with the Shastra. That is something amazing. So that person will enjoy clarity and enjoy the vision of what the Shastra reveals. That person only. Because he is using the right means of knowledge. So only when you use the right means of knowledge, the object of knowledge, you can understand the object of knowledge, nature of the object of knowledge. Applying the wrong means and lamenting that knowledge is the knowledge of the object is not gained, that is not proper. So when you want to know the object as it is, that apply the appropriate means of knowledge. So therefore, why the problem with the Buddha? Because they don't accept Shastram as a pramana. So with them, it's difficult to argue and convince them. Therefore, sometimes we have to use logic. The logic what they use to corner them and make them surrender. So that is what the next shloka here, the Acharya Vijayamuni is going to do. So all these shlokas are excellent shlokas which makes us think. That's why it's a Marana Grantha. We get clarity. And we completely accept what the Shastram says without any resistance. Then only complete surrender. In being Pramanam, one has to surrender. One has to surrender to the Shastra. So therefore, the next very logical question the author asked the Buddha. Let us see what the question and what would be the response of the Buddha. Shloka number 32. Let us read. Shunyamasiditi brushe
शून्यमासीदिति
ब्रूषे
sadyo gamba sadatmatha
सद्यो
सद्यो
गम्वा
सदात्मताम्
shunyasya natu tadyuktam
शून्यस्य
तद्युक्तम्
ubhayam vyahatatvatah
हयं
उभयं
व्याहतत्वतः
brushe. Brushe. Brushe is the Kriya Padam. Brushe. You are saying Bru Dhatu, Brun. Brute, Bruvate, Bruvate. Zubepadi. Brushe, Bruvate, Brudve. Bruve, Bruvahe, Brumahe. Brushe. This means you say. Tom Vadasi. Who says? We ask, we tell Buddhist, we tell Madhyamikas, we ask Madhyamikas, Shunyavadinam, Vayam, Prashnam, Prichamaha. What you say, Brushe, what does you say? What does the Buddhas say? What do they say? Shunyam Asid. You are telling Shunyam Asid. Shunyam meaning Asat. Sashtehe Prag. Sadeva Somidam Agra Asid. Ekameva Dvitiyam. That is the sentence. Chandogya Vakya. So idam sarvam jagat srishtehe prak shunyam asat eva asid iti tam drush. You are telling. So you are telling asad eva asid. Non-existence alone was there before creation. Now, how the author now he controls the opponents by asking a counter question. What did you say? You say asat asid. Who says this? Bodhaha Purvapakshinaha Madhyamikaha Asadeva Asit Srishtevya Prak. Non-existence Asat Asid. Asit is Langlakara. Asdatoho Langlakara Rupam Asit Astam Asat Asid. Asat Asid. Non-existence existed. In that itself we can see the contradiction. What existed? Non-existence existed. Now we ask, this non-existence existed, yet when you say non-existence existed, two types of meanings are possible. For example, when you say Agnihi Dagati, fire burns. Agnihi Dagati. Dagati Kriya Padam. Tha Asit is a Kriya Padam, similarly Dagati. Dakanat Kriya. Dakanat Kriya, the burning action of the Agni. The burning, is it the Swarupa of Agni? Agnehe Swarupam va, or that the Dakanat Kriya, the Dakanam, that Agni, the Aushnyatvam, does it have Sambandha with the Agni? Is it Swarupa? Is it intrinsic, Swabhavikam, or does it have Sambandha with the Agni? Is it intrinsic to Agni or connected to Agni? Agni, which is the subject, and Dagati Kriyapadam. Agnihi Dagati. So Daganam can be the Swarupa of Agni. That is one possibility. The verb conveys a Swarupa of Agni. Agnihi Dagati. It is Swarupa, then it is Nitya Sambandha. Nitya Sambandha with the Agni. Or if it has Sambandha, the Agni burns because of some other external factor. Dagaram, that burning capacity comes to fire comes to Agni due to some factor. Incidental. Either the Aushnyatvam of Agni should be Swabhavika, or it must be Agantuka. Must be intrinsic or must be incidental. These are the two possibilities when we say Agnihi Dagati. So if it is Agantukam, if it is incidental, through some other factor. Connected to that factor, Agni gets the capacity to burn. So these are the two possibilities. So therefore, Dahati can be either, the Dahanam can be either intrinsic or incidental. Similarly, Surya Prakashate, when we say the Prakashana Kriya of the Surya, either it should be incidental or it should be intrinsic. It should be either Swarupa or must be connected to some other factor, external factor, because of which it enjoys Prakashatva. Similarly, Shunyam Asit, when you say, the author here asked the question, it is Sadyogam va, Sadatmatam va, Sadyogam. It is Sataha Sambandham va, Sataha Sambandham. Sataha Sambandham va, Uta Sadrupena va Asit. Non-existence existed. That existed Asit Kriyapadam. Now we ask, that existed Kriyapadam, that is, it is a Swarupam of Asat. Sadrupena Asit, Swarupam of Asat, if it is intrinsic or it is connected to that Asit that existed. Yatha Agnehe Dagana Kriya. Similarly here, that Asit is it connected to non-existence, Sadyogam, Sadatmata, va Sadyogam. Hope you understand the question. This is the question we asked the Purva Pakshi. Sat Sambandham Prapya Shunyam Asit Atava Sadrupena Asit. Asat Asit, Shunyam Asit, Asat Asit, that Asat Sat Sambandham Prapya Asit va Sadrupena Asit va Sadyogam va Sadatmatam va. That is the question. Non-existence existed when we say that existed. That existed, is it intrinsic or incidental? Is it Swarupam of Asat or it is Sad Yogam, Sat Sambandham va? Yoga means Sambandha. Now, if the Purva Pakshi answers, if he opens his mouth, he will be caught. Either way, he cannot answer. Because Ubhayamapi na yujyate atra. If you say, suppose if you say, since contradiction is there in both, suppose if you say, it is Swarupam, Shunyam Asit, then Asat Asit, Shunyam Asit, Asat Asit, it means non-existence exists. How can non-existence exist? How is it possible? The non-existence existed, it's something like saying, a dumb man saying, I am dumb. The person who is dumb by birth cannot speak. And he says, I am dumb. So therefore, it is not possible. This is the dosha. This is a dosha. Vyaghata dosha. Vyaghatatvam. Vyaghata dosha. Contradiction. Viroda. Shunyam. That is asat asit is viroda. Contradiction. Contradiction. In fact, is there in both. If you say intrinsic, there is contradiction. If you say incidental, then also there is contradiction. In both, there is contradiction. Is existence a swarupa of asat? Cannot be contradictory. Asat proves that asit proves, the Kriyapadam asit proves that it is not asat because existed. Because it existed, sadatmatvam, non-existence existed. That which exists only can exist. A non-existent thing cannot exist. Completely non-existent thing cannot exist. Therefore, it is therefore Sadatmatam ruled out. If Sadatmatam non-existence existed means it is not non-existence anymore. It is not Asat anymore. Then what is that? Then you have to come here only, come to Vedanta only. It is avyakta rupena idam jagat asit. Non-existence before Srishti. Existence after Srishti. It means it is subject to coming and going. It is mithya. So therefore, he has to get converted to. He has to undergo conversion. He should become a Vedanti now. Now he should become a Advaita. If he says Sadatmata. Sadyogam. What is the contradiction in Sadyogam? Suppose if he says Sadyogam, because intrinsic is ruled out. If he says intrinsic, then Asat is Sadatma, Asat is Sat. Sat is not Asat. It becomes our person now. If he says Sadatmata. Asat Sadatma, Asataha, Sadatmatam, Asit, if he says, then he is our person, our man. Therefore, he cannot say that. If he says Sadyogam, because of the verb Asit, therefore now it has this Asat as association. Asat as association with Asit, the existence. So, non-existence is existed, associated with Sat. How can a non-existence can have association with Sat? It is again contradiction. A now completely non-existent has got sambandha with Asit. Asit means Sat. Therefore, it is also contradictory. It is not possible. Non-existence having association. The son of a barren woman is my friend. I have a friend. His mother is barren. So I have got association with a person who never exists. How is it possible? How can I have association with a person who never exists, who is never given, who is never born, given birth to? So therefore, Asat cannot have association with the Sat, with existence. Therefore, existence cannot be the Swarupa of non-existence. Existence cannot be the Swarupa. Non-existence, therefore, non-existence existed when we say that there we ask these two questions. Is it the Swarupa of non-existence or it's got association with Sat, Sadatmatam or Sat? So therefore, both we cannot answer. It is because you cannot say Asit, Sat is a Swarupa of Asat. If he says, then he becomes our person. Sadyogam, that also not possible. How can non-existence have association with existence? So non-existence cannot be Sadatmata. Non-existence cannot have yoga sambandha with Sat. If any of this he says, he is caught. Because both are contradictory. Not acceptable, therefore. The defect and the defect is called Vyahatat dosha, Vyahatatvat, Vyahatatvam, Vyahatattvataha, Ubayamapi, na yuktam tat ubayam, tat uktam ubayam na, Shunyasya, Sadyogam of Asat, or Sadatmata of Asat, Ubayam na yuktam, both are not tenable. Both are not tenable. Therefore, Asata Sadrupena Asit iti कथं न युज्यते यदि असत तर्हि कथं तद्रूपेण भवति if asat is there how can it can be sadrupa यदि sadruपेण भवति तर्हि कथं असत भवति therefore there is a paraspara virodhat उभयमपि न युक्तम So now we cannot say, you cannot answer at all. Purva Pakshi cannot answer. Non-existence existed. Is existence a Swarupa of Asat, or the non-existence is connected to Sat? You cannot answer. Either should be Swarupa, Sadatmata, or should be Sadyogam. Only two possibilities. So now he is cornered. So instead of arguing with him, just asking one question and corner him. So he cannot answer. That's what Vidyanamani does. And we give an example also. Not just we simply say Drishtanta. The author gives a Drishtanta also. In Brahma Sutra also, Shankaracharya says, Tamaf Prakashavat, Paraspara Virodha. This existence and non-existence coexisting is something like the darkness and light existing simultaneously at the same place. See, darkness and existence, the darkness and light exist, but at different location, not at the same place. Where there is light, there cannot be darkness. Where there is darkness, there cannot be light. So, Tama Prakashavat. So, next, the next shloka, the author gives a Drishtanta. Surya is Tamomayaha Suryaha, contradictory. So, therefore, there is a dosha, Vyahata dosha. Vyahata is contradiction. Vyahatatvat. Vyahatatvam. Vyahatatvataha. Vyahatatvam taha. Taha is tasil panchamyate tasil. Heto panchami. Panchami vibhakti is used in the sense of is etu. Vyahatatvat. Tasil pratyaya is used tadita pratyaya. Vyahatatvat. Vyahata tasya bhavaha vyahatattvam. Tasmat vyahatatvat. Ubhayam. Ubhayam is sadyogam sadatvatam na yuktam. Yuktam bhavati. Iti. Idanim asadvadam vikalpya doshayati. Asadvadam vikalpya. Considering the asadvadam of the Shunyavadinaha, here now the Vidyanamani, he doshayati. He dismisses them, criticizes them. Shunyamiti. Shunyam asit iti anena vakyena. Shunyam asit, asat asit iti vakyena. Shunyasya, that asataha, satta jatiya yogam. It's connected to sat or sat yogam, sambandaha. Va sadrupatam va, or it is a swarupa of sat, it is swarupa, sat swarupa va. But asat is shunyam is sat swarupam va, brushe iti vikalpartaha. Vikalpya and optionality is given. You have to say either this or that. There is no other way for you. Va brushe, you please tell. Sadyogam va asataha sadrupatam va, brushe. Vadatu, vadasi. You please tell. The vikalpartaha, vikalpa, an optionality is given. Only two. There cannot be any other option. Either it should exist, either the Drishtanta, Agni hi Ragati. See, a good example, a water is hot. Water is hot. How is the water hot? Water is not intrinsically hot. The water has the heat, the hotness, the water is hot because it has borrowed the fire, the Ushna from the fire. What about the fire? Fire is hot because, it's not because, it is the Swarupa of the fire. Whereas water has the borrowed Ushnatvam, whereas Aushnyam of the Agni is its Swarupa of the Agni. Swarupa of the Agni. Water is connected to the Agni. It is not there. It is not its Swarupa. Water is hot. That hotness is because of the fire. So fire comes into contact with the water, therefore water is hot. It has borrowed heat. It is agantukam. That is sambandha, yogam. Whereas Agni doesn't have sambandha with something for its burning capacity. It is swarupa, sadatmata. So like that, is it for asat? Asat swarupena Swarupena, Sadrupena Astiva, Atava Sadyoga Rupena Astiva. The Vikalpataha, an optionality given. Answering to any of them will be, answering to any of these Vikalpa, the Shunyavadi will be caught. You cannot answer, you cannot say, because both are contradictory. If he says answers, then you will be caught. Tadubayam Tatta Sambandham Sadrupa Lakshanam Shunyasya Vyahatatvat, because it is contradictory, therefore Nayujyate, it is not proper, Nayujyate, not tenable, Ityataha. Then the next shloka where the author gives an example. Nayuktas tamasa suryaha
नयुक्तस्तमसा सूर्यः
युक्तस्तमसा सूर्यः
na pichasau tamo mayaha
नापि
नापि
चासौ
चासौ
तमोमयः
तमोमयः
Sachunyayor virodhitvat
शून्ययोर्विरोधित्वात्
शून्ययोर्विरोधित्वात्
shunyamasit katham vadha.
शून्यमासीत् कथं
शून्यमासीत्
वद
कथं वद
Sat Swarupam. Sat Swarupam, we are discussing Swarupa. Swarupa of Asat. Asat Sat Swarupam, in fact, Sat Swarupam only can be. Asat Swarupam is Purva Pakshi's contradiction, this view. Therefore, that Swarupam is discussed here. Asat eva asit. Srishtehe prag. Now, this Sat and Asat, Sat Shunya Yogo. Asat Sadoho. Sadasatoho. Sat Shunya Yogo means Sat Shunya is Asat. Therefore, Sadasadoho. Tayoho Virodhitvat. There is a Virodha. Sat and Asat. They are opposite to each other. Sat and Asit are opposite to each other. Asit means it is Asdhatu Sat. It is existence. Asit. So Sat, Asat and Asit, they cannot be together. Asat Asit is itself is contradictory. So Asat and Asit are opposite to each other. Therefore, Sat Shunya Yogo Virodhitvat. The Virodha is like saying Suryaha Tamasa Yuktaha Tamomayaha Suryaha. Tamasa is Andakara. Tamasa na yukta tamasa suryaha yata tamasa suryaha na yuktaha tamomayaha suryaha tadvat sadasadoho, both are contradictory. Prakasha is a swarupa of Surya. Now you see Surya, if you take Surya, the sun shines. Suryaha prakashate. Now Prakasha, is it the swarupam of Surya or Prakasha having association with Surya? Is it intrinsic or incidental? Suryaha prakashate. Sun shines. The shining is it Swarupa inseparable from Surya, like Agnihi Dagati, that Daganam, the Dagana Kriya, the Daganam, the fire, the hotness, the heat is inseparable from Agni. Is it like that? Or because of some Sambandha association, the fire, the sun Prakashate, Surya Prakashate. Now, if there is association, if sun really has association with some external factor, because of which it shines, then some sun will be dark. But there is no dark sun. Because Sambandha is there, Sambandha, the Sambandha is subject to change. If Sambandha is there, in the absence of the Sambandha, then sun will be dark. Then dark sun. Then Surya Tamasana Yuktaha. Surya, how can it have association with Tamas? If it is association with Tamas, then it cannot be Surya. Light and darkness cannot coexist. Light cannot have an association with the darkness. They cannot have a joint venture. So, therefore, if light can have association with the darkness, if we can prove, then we accept Asit can have association with Asat. Yata tamasa suryah kadapi na yuktah. Napi asau suryah tamomayah. Surya is not samaswarupam. Tamas cannot have association with the sun. Tamas cannot have association with the sun. Therefore, Sat and Shunya, like the Tamas and Surya, Surya means Prakasha, the light. Tamas is darkness. The darkness and the light cannot coexist. Yata, they don't exist together. Virodhitvat. Therefore, Tadvat, similarly, Sat Shunya Yoga Virodhitvat. Shunyam Asit Katam Vada. You please tell me Katam. How Shunyam Asit. How Shunyam Asat existed. You tell me. Asit is Sat. Asat non-existence. When darkness and light cannot coexist, how can you say Asat Asit? So therefore, one cannot have association with completely opposite of that. Surya shines. It is light. So tad viruddhasya tamasaha sambandham katam bhavati. Viruddhasya tamandaha na bhavati. Therefore tamo rupaha suryaha nasti. Tamah prakashayoho viroditvat. Tamomaya suryaha nasti. Yata nasti tadvat sat shunyayoho api viroditvat asat asit iti katam tum vadasi vada tatvada katam vadati katam tum vadasi katam bhavan vadati. So we ask Vyahatatvat, how can you say that Asat and Sat existing together? If we can show Tamas, the darkness, and Prakasha existing together, then we accept. In Vyavahara itself, we cannot show. In Vyavahara itself, we cannot show the coexistence of darkness and light. That's a good example. Tamah Prakasha Yoga Virudatva. They cannot exist together. Similarly, Sat and Asat cannot exist together. So therefore, the very statement Asat Asid itself, statement itself is wrong. And what is the reality attached to it? Therefore, Vyahatatvam Drishtanta Purukam Dridayati. So Drishtanta we give, this is the Drishtanta, the Tamah Prakasha, the Surya Drishtanta, Tamomaya Suryaha Nasti. That is Drishtanta. Drishtanta Purukam Dridayati. The author makes it very strong. Our contention, our argument, Na Yuktaha iti. Na Yuktaha, it is not tenable. So therefore, Asat Katam Asit. How can you say Shunyam Asit? Katam. Katam Asit. Since both are mutually exclusive, Yata, Sun and Tamas, similarly, Sat and Shunyam, since they are mutually exclusive, Katam Asit. Asat. How can you say non-existence exists? Cannot say. Now here, we asked this question. Purabhakshi is trying to think and counter us. So he's asking a question. Question is raised by Madhyamika. I'll tell the question, we will read the shloka in the next class. This Nama Rupatmaka Jagat is the Vyadadehe Nama Rupe. Vyat is Akasha. Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Hapa, Prithvi. This Panchabhutatmakam, Panchabhutika, this Jagat. Jagat is just Nama Rupa. Mayaya, so Vikalpite. It is Mayaya, it is, this Jagat is Vikalpita, it is Kalpita, it is superimposed on Chetanam Brahma. You see how The Shunyavadi also, when you also knows our Siddhanta to contend, to debate. Each one must know their Siddhanta. So we say Brahma asti. Brahma is Chaitanyam, Chaitana. And this Namarupatmaka Jagat is Jada. So where does this Jada, the Jada Jagat exist? Does it exist independent of Brahma? Then it is not Advaitam. It is Dvaitam. It is Dvaitam Brahma eva. Because Chaitana Brahma, Achetana Jagat. No, it is Advaitam Brahma, only Advaita is. And then you tell me, who has this now? Madhyamika has. Now you tell me, this Jagat is Jada. And Jagat is limited. Being Jada, it has to be limited. It cannot be infinite. And Brahma is Chaitana. And is it limited? No, it is unlimited. It is unlimited. Chaitana, Jada, and this Jagat is Jada, it is limited. Now, where is the locus, or what is the locus of this Jada Jagat? Srishtehe Purvam Sadeva Swami Idamagre Asit. So this Jada, you say, it is in Brahma. That is, this Jada Jagat, its locus is where? It is in Brahma. That is, Achetana is in Chetana Brahma. This limited is in unlimited. If the limited, this Jada Jagat can be in Brahma, Suvikalpite, Mayaya Suvikalpite. Then similarly, Shunya also, why not? Similarly, this Asat also, like Namarupa, Yata Namarupa, Mayaya Brahmani Vikalpitam, this Namarupe Vikalpite, the Dvivachanam. Similarly, Shunyam also. Why can't Shunya also like Namarupa? Why can't we Vikalpita on Brahma? Then we say, yes, sir, thank you very much. You live long. You are saying what we are saying. So you are our person. How is that we are saying? You'll see. You'll see in the next class the meaning of this. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
धन्यवादः
Dhanyavadaha.
धन्यवादः
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 धन्यवादः शरण्
Dhanyavadaha.
धन्यवादः शरणजी